Hello everyone, welcome to this first replay commentary. Well, it's not really a replay, it's more a live, how do I call it, a live, oh crap, fuck. Hello everybody and welcome to this first replay commentary. Well, it's not really a replay, as you may, well, I think I told you, we can't save replays in this Airland Battle Beta, so I'm not able to save replays and commentate them. But I save most of my games directly while I'm playing without saving the voice between me and my friend. So it's a live game that I'm commentating after recording it. So it's maybe a bit weird, but I'm gonna try to make it as cool as possible. So in this game, just to tell you, I went with the ground force going on the sector right here. I think it's hotel, and I called in an F-15 Eagle. That's something I wanted to try. It's sending an early superiority aircraft, so a fighter, to well, if the enemy has only ground forces, I just call it back. If not, I can attack its enemy, its helicopters or its planes. And in this case, I was pretty lucky. The enemy sent in 2 Mi-24Ps, and I just sent my F-15 Eagle to take them down. The F-15 Eagle is in this game, in this beta at least, the best fighter plane we can have, but that I have tested actually. It's pretty good. It kills aircraft from a huge distance, and helicopters from a bit closer, but still really deadly. Of course, it is expensive. It's a full vetted plane in this deck. It's 180 points, so it's I think one of the most expensive units you'll find. So to come back to the basic gameplay, we are on Highway to Oslo. So it's the remake of Highway to Hell from WAB. So Wargmae escalation. We are on a 2v2. It's R.U.S.E and myself playing NATO against R.U.S.E and Jesli playing the Pact. R.U.S.E is actually playing a German deck, as we can see with his Fuchs, his Flak Panzers and his Marder 1s. He is now trying to take out the Spetsnaz that have taken position in the building. And I am playing the American deck. So the big flaw in the American deck, apart from the F-15, is the lack of anti-air. So apart from the F-15, we don't have really good units anti-air. We have a few PVATs. I think it's 4 or 8, maybe only 4. And we have a few Stingers with the infantry. Well, you can see the M113 Deprec that carry infantry, anti-air infantry. So I'm trying to spam them a bit around the area to defend my commander. I've got a tank commander here, an M60A1 commander. That's pretty neat. It's not as expensive as the Leopard 2 commander, but it's still pretty much armored, pretty nicely armored, so it allows a good sustainability against artillery fire, which we see quite often in the game, thanks to its changes, I would say. Both the tube artillery and missile artillery have been changed, and it's pretty nice. I'll come back to that later, probably. So for now, I'm just taking position. I've put my infantry in the different sectors, and ATGM on the right with the Bradley. And now I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm sending in a recon chopper. That's something I figured. I thought that, well, in this war game title, I'm not sure that sending in choppers right in front is a good thing with the aircraft. Aircrafts, yes, are expensive, but if you keep a few points in reserve, and when you see choppers, you just buy a fighter and send it in, and you can just kill the helicopters. And a Kiowa at 80 points that gets shot down by one fighter is pretty expensive. As you can see, I have got already 170 points, and that's because the enemy just sent in a bit. Well, he sent dangerously in his two expensive choppers. And I was lucky. I had recruited a jet fighter, and I just destroyed his 2 helicopters. So I think that the key word in this beta is prudence. You have to be prudent all the time for a couple of reasons. well, with helicopters is because you've got airplanes on the other side. And generally speaking, it's because units you have are much less. Well, you can't sacrifice them. You don't have enough of units to allow to sacrifice them. It's I mean, I think it's the deck creation that gives that, but not just that. We've had a few games with my friends where 4v4 ended up with 2,000 points accumulated in our treasury that we couldn't spend because we were short on units. I could still recruit a few units, but they weren't those that I needed. I was empty on tanks, I was empty on infantry, I was empty on assault vehicles, so I couldn't do much more. So some people are wondering, yeah, is the deck system too restrictive? Are we just gonna have games where we're gonna end because we have no more units left? I'm not totally sure. I think it depends on a good balance of game settings. I'm just gonna give you my opinion here. It's I think first the decks aren't really optimized for 2v2 games. They are better used. I think they are more of built as 1v1 games decks because they are really they have every type of units. Every deck has a bit of infantry, a bit of tank, a bit of aircraft. So it's not a complementary deck with your ally. It's just one big 1v1 deck. So just to come back to artillery here, as you can see, I have the M110 the M110A2 artillery, and in this case it shot only one shell. It's an HE14 shell, so it's pretty it's really strong compared to a Dana or a AUF1. They have, I think, HE10, so it's a bit stronger. You can, I believe, with what I've seen, that Fusion has tried to really first differentiate tube and missile artillery, and also try to represent artillery units as they are in real life. So Dana and AUF1 are able to send in a few shells before reloading, so that's what they do in the game. This M110A2 can fire only once before reloading, so that's what it does also. So I think it's pretty neat. That's one of the major things with the artillery. And the two other changes, well, the other change that differentiates a lot missile from tube artillery is what I told you in my previous video. It's now our tube artillery, whatever the distance you shoot at, it's always the same circle. It's always the same hitbox, unless you have a corrected shot like this. But it's always the same hitbox, even if you shoot at the other side of the map. Of course, if you have the range, of course. But it's always the same hitbox, so you don't have a loss of precision, which is pretty nice. So it makes the tube artillery more of a sniping unit. On the other hand, all the missile artillery units, like the BRM or the Grad, I don't remember which one is in the Russian deck here, but the MLR, the missile launcher units, their hitboxes increase with the range. So these units are really good at stunning a large area. And of course you want to be as close as possible to minimize the impact if you want a small impact zone. And on the other hand, the tube artillery is more of a sniping artillery. The other change is the dispersion of the missiles and the shells in the hitbox. Before, with tube artillery, you had like 5 or 6 shells coming in. The first shells would come like on the edge of the circle, and the more shells were arriving, the more they would center in the middle of the circle. And it was the same thing with the MLRS. You had the first missiles all around, and then they were coming in at the center. It wasn't really realistic. In this beta, we've got the artillery that have total random shells in their hitboxes, so it's pretty neat. You can't really be sure you'll shoot at the unit, but your initial hitbox is smaller. And generally speaking, with the stats have changed. I mean, the tanks in Wargame, the first one, the big tanks had like 10 of armor, 10, 11 armor. And this one, Challenger, has 18 or 19. I think it's 18. So artillery units are really good against light vehicles if they hit them. But against bigger vehicles, they do pretty much nothing apart from morale damage. So I believe that at this stage in the game, it's pretty well balanced. I kind of like it. Maybe I'll think differently in after a couple of days, but for now I think it's pretty good. I think they've done a pretty good job in balancing things. So now I'm sending in aircrafts. The Phantom is a napalm striking aircraft, so I didn't target a unit here, I targeted the ground, and I'm just putting fire everywhere. I knew there were units there, so I was just hoping to shoot at to hit something with this. Unfortunately, fire doesn't do a lot of damage to tanks. I haven't really checked, but I don't think it does a lot. It does much more to infantry, of course, but to tanks, not that much. In the American deck, you have 3 types of airplanes. No, 4. You've got the F-15 Eagle, the awesome air superiority fighter. You've got the A-10, of course, the slow but powerful one-shot unit. You've got the Phantom, which you saw, which does the napalm strike, and the Intruder, which does a more classic carpet bomb, which is pretty good. So for now, I'm on my side. The enemy has taken possession of the sector just in front of me, and I'm trying to push back a few tanks that were arriving. So with my 2 M1 Abrams, I'm pushing back the T-55s. And on his side, well, R.U.S.E is doing a great job. He's got his sector, and he is holding off every attack his enemy is organizing. So it's going on pretty well. We are 12 minutes into the game. And for now, it's pretty balanced in terms of map control, but in terms of points, we have the upper hand. We've got 1,300 versus 220. So yeah, it's going quite well for us. I'm starting to push a bit forward, trying to get cover in this line, in this little tree line here, sending in my pattern, sending in a couple of PVADs, a bit more actually, to defend a bit against aircrafts. And I think I'll be sending the Abrams also just after that. Yeah, globally I'm really pleased with the game. Here you have an example of a concentrated artillery. I think that's a Dana that it's shooting. And once more, 1 helicopter, I send in the Eagle. It's a bit risky what I'm doing here. I don't really know if there's anti-air, but I'm just taking the risk. You know, we are testing the beta, we are playing competitively, so... And even if you were, I think I would have sent it just for the fun. It's already killed a few helicopters. And here we go, against the ME-35, and 1 pass, and it's 90 points for me. And then I see the Panzerovnichi. I don't really know if that's the right pronunciation, I don't think so. But yeah, that's the really good airplane, the Phantom. Napalm strike to clear the buildings. So I'm just sending it there, targeting the enemy. And oh crap, the foe. Yeah, that's it, I dealt with the phone. So, where was I? I don't even remember, crap. So, yeah, the Phantom is really good going in to clear the buildings here with its napalm. Unfortunately, I do a bit of a mistake here, I just target the same area. So, I'm just gonna burn half the sector, but it's still gonna burn a bit the enemy, so that's pretty nice. So for now, still leading in terms of points. I'm starting to move a bit forward with my unit, sending in my 2nd Bradley to the front line. So that's what I was talking about. You see, I've got really few units. I've got only 2 Bradleys, I've got 4 Abrams. That's really few, so I think, to come back to what I was saying earlier, it was, decks may seem a bit small. You may feel that you are out of units quite quickly in the game, especially considering the amount of money you earn on some maps. Hell, the 4v4 map, when you play on 4v4, you've got sectors that have 12 points of income. It's huge compared to Wargame, to the first one, and you just spend all your points pretty quickly. So I think in this case it's more an income problem on the map rather than a deck problem. To come to on the pure deck problem, I don't think it's a real issue. We've got as I was saying, I think we've got pretty much 1v1 decks. They are pretty balanced. We've got a bit of everything. In team games like this, the optimal situation you would like is a game where each player is controlling a set of units. So for instance, one player in this 2v2 game could spend all its deck points when creating its deck on tanks, vehicles and infantry, or just tanks and infantry, while another player could just spend its points on support and air units, for instance, just to give a basic example. And in this case, you would have much more units. The other thing that restricts units, of course, is that in this deck you have quite a lot of ranked units. As you can see, the F-15 Eagle is rank 3. The Abrams I can recruit are already hardened units, so it's rank 3 also. I think the ranks are rookie, experienced, and hardened, and veteran. I'm not sure about the second one, but I think it's basically that. So, yeah, I think we will still be able to create decks with a lot of units. If you take the British deck, for example, it's one of the good examples. You've got like 14 tanks. You've got 4 Challenger 1s and 10 Chieftain MK10, which is nothing. But on the other hand, if you take the French deck, for example, to stay on the NATO side, you've got 2 types of AMX-30. You've got the AMX-30 with 3 rank types. You've got all in all like 30 AMX-30, and you've got around 6 or 8 AMX-30B Breno. I don't really remember how it's called. It's AMX-30B2, and I forgot the rest. Crap. Well, it doesn't matter. But you get my point. I mean, it's really up to you. So for what I see here, I don't believe there's anything too alarming. I think we should really wait for well, we should really wait to be able to test to really play with the deck system before having early conclusions. But for now, I think it's okay. And well, having few units pushes players to really take care of them. So on one hand, why not? I mean, it stops pretty much rushes. If one guy rushes and his rush is stopped, well, he basically lost all his army and he can't call in reinforcements. In Wargame, why did the rushes work? Well, first, we did them because all the points were concentrated in the middle of the map, which isn't the case anymore. Hell, my hotel sector brings me as much as the sector in the center of the map, Echo. So why rush on that sector? And second, if I rush with all my units, first I don't necessarily have a lot of units, and if I do use them, I don't have the second or the third variant of the unit tree to replace the unit. So all in all, I think the restriction of units is a pretty good thing. After, of course, this is my opinion. I know people like to have huge armies. Maybe that will be possible, we'll see. But for now, with what we have, I'm pretty okay with what Fusion has done. Even pretty glad. And here, one good thing, transports have finally weapons, and the Black Hawk has a twin minigun, twin M134 minigun, and that's just awesome. Look at that. Just killed 30 points of units. Well, unfortunately, I just killed it afterwards, but yeah, I just suicided it on the enemy to test a bit its resilience. Hell, it's a testing beta. And I sent it, but it just, look at that. The HPs are just going down, 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 and I'm stunned, and I'm just killed by basic infantry. So sending in once more my planes. Planes are really cool in this game. I mean, they don't feel overpowered because they are pretty expensive and they can pretty much get killed, but anti-air units have really become a must-have. Autocannon units are really good at stunning the aircraft and against the helicopters, and the SAM, of course, are really good at dealing the actual damage. The autocannon units don't really do a lot of damage. Well, that's what I've seen in a few games. Maybe I'm mistaken, but that's my first impression. And we go with that. Here I go with the aircraft. I mean, one first napalm strike, then the intruder is coming in to make a classic carpet bombing. A really nice one. And then the other Phantom is coming in to burn the other part of the city. The buildings don't seem destructible right now. They are still up and running, if I may say so, after the carpet bombing. So, yeah, there could be a bit more detail, but hell, the game is so beautiful right now that it's hard to ask even more. But on the other side, when you hit forests with artillery or when you burn them, some of the screens go down, so that's pretty nice. That's really, really nice. And here we go, more planes. And my F-15, see the distance at which it can engage the enemy aircraft. That is outrageous. It's impressive, honestly. Against helicopters, it doesn't shoot that far, but against other airplanes, it does a whole lot of damage. That's the F-15 Eagle. Yeah, the American deck is gonna be pretty nice. I don't think it's gonna have the best tanks. I think those best tanks are gonna be with the Russians and the T-80 line, the Germans with the Leopard 2. The Americans won't have the best tanks. The Abrams isn't the best tank in the game. I don't think it will be if it's like Wargame, the first one, if it's like WAB, but it will definitely have the best aircraft. I mean, when you look at the decks they've pre-made for us, you've got the Poles, the Czechs, they've got a few airplanes with a couple of bombs that just does boom boom and go back. That's not really, that's not a lot. On the American side, you've got the F-15, you've got the napalm, you've got the carpet bombing, you've got the 8010 Warthog. It's impressive, and it's really, really nice to play with them. I know in the future, with in the future beta or in the actual game, when we'll be able to play with the decks, I'm sure that I'm gonna make a few games with my friends playing entirely the air support with a full American air support game deck. That's gonna be awesome. I'm not really, yeah, on the Soviet side, of course, there are a lot of nice planes also, but in the actual decks we have, I don't think there is a air superiority fighter with rank 4, and I don't think we've got a nice bomber, so we can't really compare. Which is nice on one hand, we've got a variety of units. So for now, it's the red player in front of me that is trying to counter-attack my positions, but I've sent in a second Abrams on the right side over here, and I think I've called in more tanks. I don't know if they're coming in now. Yeah, here they are. I've got 6 M60A1 R.U.S.E patterns, which are pretty nice tanks. But that's all I have. I've got only 6 of them, I think. So I'm sending him all I've got. I've got the Bradley, 2 Abrams, R.U.S.E pattern. The only bad thing I have is a bit a small lack of anti-air units. I've got a few pivots behind my units, but that's not much. But I have the F-15, so who cares? That's basically how I'm thinking now. Well, the problem is the OSA AKM. These guys, if they hit my plane, they can pretty much take it down pretty quickly. Yeah, there are a few bugs in the game, as you can see. Well, you can't really see from this distance, but infantry that have taken control of a sector, you don't hear them, or you don't really see them shooting from the sector. Apart from ATGMs, you see the ATGMs go, but you don't see the rockets or the shots of rifles, the rifle shots. So it's pretty weird, but that's just a visual problem that we will be surely corrected before the game is finished. So no real issue here. No, in the bug, generally in the game, we haven't encountered that many bugs. In terms of fluidity, the game is pretty fluid. In terms of connection, I haven't had any problem. Well, in terms of lagging, I've had a couple of players with bad ping in the lobby, but in the game it was pretty good. The only issue we had was a freeze when one player crashed, the game froze, but that's going to be corrected, of course. Please remember this is still a beta, of course. It's the first beta, and the game is far from being released. And we don't even know when it's going to be released, so we'll see. Maybe not in a month, for those who are hoping. I mean, you've probably seen in the decks, you've got a lot of work in progress visuals that haven't been implemented yet. But all in all, work in progress. You've got 4 nations that we haven't seen yet. The full campaign, I don't know. We don't really know where they are with that. If they've just started, if they are nearly finished, or I guess they are nearly finished. But it's gonna be an awesome game, honestly. And at this point in the game, I'm trying to attack the reinforcement arrow of their sector, but it's a pretty bad idea. They are just spamming tanks. I'm getting ass kicked here. One ME24, MI24. But my F-15 Eagle is coming in, so no big problem here. And one more chopper down, one more. A6 intruder coming in and killing a few units. Well, 1 unit. But my offensive here got totally shot. They did a nice move here. They spammed units at the reinforcement area, so it was quite hard to deal with. Yeah, I love the sound of those guns. And added to the units they spammed, they sent in T-55s on my back, so I couldn't deal with them. I just got shot at by both ends and got totally slaughtered. But we are still in the lead, 4,800 points to 1,600. In terms of map control, it's still the same. We have the same amount of supply, if I'm not mistaken. And we are continuing to shell here and there, so pretty nice game all in all. It's pretty nice. He is starting to counterattack a bit, moving forward with his tank, T-72. He's got a MiG-29. I'm sending in once more my F-15 Eagle. But I think he's just gonna evacuate. Or not, maybe not. He's going right to my lad's Stinger field. And look at that range, it's so cool! And the plane is on. Yeah, you've got a little bug here. When the planes are getting shot at, there's some sort of freeze with the airplanes, but once more, beta is beta. Sorry. So at this point I'm just pulling back. I've got very few units left. I've got in terms of tanks, maybe C infantry, I've got a few things left. In tanks I've got 1 Abrams left and a few Sheridans. I have no more Patons. This is my last heavy tank. I've got 6 Sheridans, so I'm just gonna spam them to defend the area against the enemy assault. So in terms of points, we're winning. So at this stage I'm just guessing that they are pretty short on units. They are sending everything they've got left at me, which is quite a lot. So I'm gonna have to hold out as long as possible. So yeah, I'm sorry I can't speed things up here because well, it is a live recording of my game. There is no replay feature. I can't speed it up. And the game is pretty long, I think, but well. Anyway, the final, the decisive moment is coming in, as you may have guessed. They are sending in all their troops on my side, trying to attack. I'm gonna spam my my ATGM Dragon 2. So yeah, so on the bits, I've done 2 gameplay videos without any commentary. I've done 1 basic overview of the game, and this commentary. If you want anything more, anything specific, please just ask. I'll try to make as many videos as I can, as many interesting videos as I can, and well, my goal is primarily to make a bit of advertisements and let you guys know how the game is looking. And 40 points. That's the power of the one-shot artillery against light vehicles. At this point I know he's coming with a huge army that is regrouped. So I'm sending in all the area of effect airplanes I've got. And I'm just gonna target the ground here. If you target a unit and the unit disappears, just like an ATGM, well, the ATGM will be lost while the airplanes won't shoot. So I'm just targeting the ground and I'm sending in everything. Maybe I missed a little target here. Oh well, not that much. Maybe a little bit more on the right would have been better, but I still have at least stunned a lot of units. Sending in some Chinook to resupply my artillery, pulling back my Kiowa, which has who has shot all his missiles, spreading a bit my ATGMs all along the front line. The problem here is that I have, apart from one M1 Abrams, I have very few heavy tanks, so no real unit to support the initial impact of the enemy. He's got T-72s, and that's gonna hurt a lot. So he's sending a few units in front, T-72s coming forward and pulling back. He knows it's gonna be hard, but he's got nice tanks. Moving on the left side here, but my overwhelming force is killing him. So for now, all is good on my side. Still shelling a bit in the general area of the T-55s. An Alpha jet that is trying to evacuate here. Yeah, as you can see here, the airplanes are refueling and resupplying. They are back to base and waiting to be ready. And then I'll pull them back. One more airplane is coming. I think it's the Intruder, which is already ready, which is pretty nice. Here's a nice move from the opponent, an infantry attack, and at the same moment he's moving forward with his BMP-2 on the right side. The BMP-2 is completely overkilled, but then T-72 M1CZ, so that's the Czechoslovakian version, is coming right in. I think I lose a plane over there. And that's where I'm starting to get hit pretty hard. My Sheridans are getting slaughtered by the T-72s. He's got at least 6 of them. I'm getting shot at by those guys. The motor key on the right side. Here I forget to land the chopper to resupply it. Corrected shot on the motor key, but I miss a little here. They continue to move forward, so I'm gonna miss them a bit. And ATGM still trying to shoot at the tanks, but the T-72s are damn resistant, and the Dragon 2 is a damn shitty ATGM with 12 AP, 12 AP. What kind of ATGM is that? Against T-72s they have like 11, I don't even know, but when you know that the Milan F2 has 24 AP, 12 AP with the ATGM Dragon 2 is pretty much crap. It's useless. Well, it's spammable ATGM, yeah, of course. The other good thing with the game, the visuals have been improved, the sounds have been improved. But no, if you hear the shots, the shots are really better. It's so much better than the stupid tac 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 that we had in the previous game. It's really nice that they've taken some time to improve those things. The Apache just killing everything. And here we've got the Cobras with their rockets. Yeah, they are just sending in everything they've got. And they've killed pretty much all my army, but they lack a few tanks. Maybe 4 or 5 more tanks and they would have rolled over me. Unfortunately, I've got a few ATGMs left. And my ally Rediki is sending me a few tanks he's got left, and he's been pushing behind the enemy. They've sent everything they've got at me. I managed to resist just in well, a few more tanks and was dead. And meanwhile, well, Redziki attacked them and pretty much pushed them back from the entire map. So at this point, well, the game is pretty much won. We are 5,000 points ahead of them, nearly. They've got only one sector left, so the rest of the game is just basically moving forward to their sector and killing them. So feel free to watch the rest of the game. I'll be leaving you now, and hopefully I'll come back pretty quickly with a new video and a special video if you want. Just ask me what you would like to see and I'll try to make it. Thanks for watching and see you next time, guys. And enjoy the end of the game if you want to.
Fresh delivery, en route. On my way to coordinates, out. Break cover, folks. We're moving again. Moving out. Get a better look from there. Speed up, driver. We're in a hurry. En route.